The thing is, we found out there was a problem probably back in the summer, to be fair. Billy was in pain a lot and we were referred to a hospital where they did an MRI. But we just thought it was a twisted muscle from what we were told. But the pain got progressively worse, didn't it? But he was taking lots of medication.
What was it like on the first day? I mean, it was just a very gradual move to, he wasn't well and then...
No, he had pain in his knee. That's how it started, and the pain in the knee sort of got progressively worse. And you know, being a young lad going out drinking at the weekends, we thought he'd got drunk, fallen over, hurt his knee, and it was just pain damaged for a long time. Went to the doctor, they kept giving medication and couldn't see anything physically wrong with his knee. So we did get referred to an orthopaedic consultant, and he said the same, couldn't see any problem with it.
That was at which hospital?
That was at the Fitzwilliam in Peterborough. But obviously they were checking out Billy's knee at the time. The pain then moved to the hip, and that got progressively worse over time.
Started to swell, didn't it?
Yeah, so in the October, Billy happened to be off because he severed his thumb at work. So while he was off for 3 months, I noticed how many painkillers he was taking, that he was losing a lot of weight, he wasn't eating properly. So we took him back to the doctors to say, he's taking too many painkillers, he's really in pain, he's walking with a limp. And straight away they knew something seriously was wrong, and within a week we'd had an X-ray and then an MRI, and we had the diagnosis of the MRI on the same day to say that they'd found a 9.2 centimetre aggressive tumour at the top of his femur.
Do you feel angry that they didn't discover it earlier, or is it...
Well, yes and no. Sarcomas don't get detected apparently for about 1.5 years. You don't get the pain until it...
You only find out if you have them when it fractures.
When it bursts through the bone.
It bursts through the bone. That's how 9 times out of 10 they find out.
It grows in the bone, and then you don't feel pain from it until it bursts through the bone. Obviously Bill has some referred pain, but normal diagnosis takes about 1.5 years, so we don't know how long the tumour had been there, if it was a real fast growing one.
So effectively the injury to your finger was...
It helped.
A blessing.
It was a blessing,
yeah,
because Billy was home with me and I could see how much pain he was in.
Yeah. So then it was quite quick,
Very quick
to move after that?
Yeah, I would say from going to the GP to having a biopsy in Birmingham was probably about 4 weeks. From them saying that they thought they should do X-rays and then MRIs, and then we had to wait. We went to Birmingham for a biopsy, and then from that biopsy we got the results of what they found inside his leg. So,
and then you were taken into hospital?
Yeah, well, we came home. We went to Birmingham for the biopsy, and then we came home. We were told that Billy could put 50% of weight on his leg from the biopsy, so we had crutches.
He was waiting for chemo, wasn't we?
And we were waiting for chemotherapy to start, which they said would possibly start before Christmas. That's what they'd hoped to do. Billy had his birthday on the 29th of November on a Saturday, and then on the Monday morning, just laying on bed, moved his leg, and it snapped through the tumour, completely broke. So from that point, on the 1st of December...
to King's Lynn, and then from King's Lynn straight to Addenbrooke.
King's Lynn took 1 night, wasn't it?
Yeah.
King's Lynn wanted just A&E, transferred to Addenbrooke, and from there Billy was on traction and able to move.
For 9 weeks.
So all this time, you must have been... I mean, you look quite calm today about it all.
I'm on medication, I'm not.
I can't believe that you went through that.
It was horrific.
Billy in a minute.
It was horrific because Billy, obviously, you know, from getting the diagnosis, being told how aggressive the tumour was, how big, you know, we were petrified. Didn't know if it had spread because it's known that it can spread quite easily. You know, all the time we're waiting for meetings to be held in Birmingham to discuss what they're going to find. Billy was scared. He didn't want to be in hospital on his own. For those 3 months, we, between ourselves and Billy's girlfriend is on a career break, she helped, and some other families, we had around-the-clock time. Billy was never on his own in hospital. He had someone supporting him 24/7.
What was it like for you then, Spence?
Oh, it's just a massive shock, but yeah.
To be told your kid's got cancer, you can't. It's, you know, it's the worst nightmare.
Had you any previous family experiences of this? Or
Yes.
I did. My dad, he died of cancer. That was 13 years ago.
So you would presumably begin to feel the sense of...
We know a lot of people have had cancer and a lot of
Yeah.
people that haven't come through it, so yeah, petrified.
Did you go through the YS bit, or were you bit more
Not
positive?
really, no. No,
Can't
just
just go on with it,
we
didn't
just
we?
got on with it.
We didn't have a chance. Everything happened so
quickly,
quick.
you know. We just didn't have a chance to think about what was going on. We just, from 1 minute, was going to one hospital to the other, and then referred to this and speaking to these people, and we just totally didn't even think about.
We never saw each other. Literally, I would take over a shift at hospital, and Spencer would
I'd
come
spend
home,
the weekend. I'd go down on a Friday night and come back on a Sunday night.
and we just swapped,
Swap over.
just to try and keep the kids. We obviously, Billy's got 2 sisters, so trying to keep home as normal. We, you know, they knew what was happening from the start, but trying to maintain a routine with them because they were upset, obviously. But life just was a whirlwind, wasn't it?
It was, yeah.
Just
Were you-
surviving day to day.
Were you surprised by the resilience that you discovered in yourself to deal with it?
No, we had our moments, but they were private, never in front of Billy.
Because you look, you know, this morning when we're doing this, you look, you know,
It's
in
just,
control.
it's
you
just
know,
what you, it's what you put onto, you know, still can't believe it's happening to us, still can't believe what he's gone through, obviously.
But what's going on
We're
outside
proud.
of this, before the
It's keeping us
fundraising, all the amount of people that are,
Yeah.
that's, you know, beyond us, it's just, it's totally giving us a lift, and we haven't had time to really sort of sit
Digest
back and think about what's gone on, because it's just gone from one step to another. So we're kind of on a bit of a, not wouldn't say a high, but there's a bit of a buzz going around the village, because we know that the amount of money that's being raised for Bill. So we haven't really had time to sit back and.
What was the moment like when the doctors told you what they were going to have to do to bring this to a conclusion?
Yeah.
We was given an option before the chemo.
We knew from the start.
If it didn't work, or worst case scenario, that he'd lose his leg.
Yeah, they were pretty adamant at channeling that into us, that, you know, they were looking, the
It's got
treatment we
quite
were looking
possibility,
for was hopefully a femur and half hip replacement, but because of the size of the tumour and how aggressive it was, that we were told to expect an amputation. I mean, still to be told it was a shock.
Did you feel that a lot of people over the years have been sometimes a bit critical of the way the medical profession deals with people in your situation? You feel, to me, as if what happened to you as a family was handled well by the hospital. Is that the right interpretation?
It's brilliant, isn't it?
Adam Brooks, you know,
Everyone's been great.
It's been bounding,
you know, Kings Lynn wasn't so well, but, you know, that wasn't their fault. They didn't know how to treat Billy's condition, and they treated him as best he could. But as soon as we got, was only in there for 24 hours. As soon as we got to Adam Brooks, Billy was their main priority. They kept us informed of everything all the way. Obviously, we were there for such a long time. We got to know all the staff. But I can't fault Adam Brooks, and we're on the Teenage Cancer Trust Board, so, you know, they were used to dealing with families of teenagers. And the same with Birmingham Royal Orthopaedics, who obviously did Bill's biopsy and his surgery. They, you know, can't fault them at all. They've shown us so much support. They knew what we were going through.
I think what would have impressed and pleased a lot of people who've read the story up to date is that how speedy was your response to it. Not, I don't mean acceptance of it, but the reality was there for you as a family. So let's make the best of it. Let's get on with it. And within days, almost, it seems, if you're researching, you know, for a shorthand version of a bionic replacement, and that's good, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, from you know, trying to encourage and to prove yourself to be a sort of a force for other people facing this.
Yeah.
You know, just get on with it.
The thing is, you know, it's difficult because obviously one of us was with Billy all the time, and to be told, we were told initially when we were told he was having the amputation that there are prosthetics available, but they're normal amputations are from the knee below, and they're available because they're much cheaper on the NHS. We were told by the chemotherapy specialist that because of Bill's amputation and the cost of the leg, it just wouldn't be possible to supply Billy with a leg on the NHS, but we could fund it privately. If we couldn't do that, then his life would be on crutches in a wheelchair. Well, Spencer was at home with the girls when I was with Billy and he got this news. So Spencer was home. Once the girls were in bed, Spencer was just researching and found...
So there's one of you at the hospital and one of you on Google.
So while I'm looking after him, he was home, you know, going around in his brain, well, when he's not going to stay on crutches in a wheelchair for this flight, we'll do whatever it takes.
So when did you track, was there a moment when you realised that what you tracked down as...
As soon as I saw it, I knew straight away that was the one, and then we contacted him the next day, didn't we?
Yeah. Dorset Orthopaedics.
Have you met, I suppose that's to come, you'll meet people who've
Yeah.
got these, and that's
Yeah.
all presumably to come in the future,
Yeah.
because I think there is a period of time when you can't have...
That's right.
It's got to settle down.
I mean, we have been told now, you know, a limb specialist came to see us from Addenbrooke's the day before Billy was transferred for amputation, and he said to us that, you know, it's not strictly true, there is a leg available on the NHS for Billy, but basically it's a dead leg.
Dead leg.
It's a training leg, it's heavy, people can't wear it for more than a couple of hours because it's sore, and it doesn't move from the hip. So when you move, you walk with an obvious
So
limp.
Billy, he doesn't have a hip anymore. He's got no joint there. So there's no movement there for an NHS prosthetic leg to put onto his leg. So the one that this Helix 3D one, it's got a movable hip on it, and it's got motion sensors on it. It's got titanium joints and stuff like that. So this will enable him to even climb upstairs, ladders, and he can even run on it.
Again, though, it doesn't strike me that you're bitter that the NHS is not providing.
Well, what's the point? What's the point? We just have to just get on with it. So we can't. We're just getting on with it.
I am angry, but they won't because he's 20. I can understand them not doing it for much older patients. But, you know, the NHS fund other operations such as, you know, breast implants and stuff like that. But it doesn't matter how much we scream and shout, it's not going to change the fact that they're not going to help Billy out. So you can't dwell on that. You've just got to think, well, I am going to see him walk down an aisle, walk his first, you know, do his first dance on a wedding floor. I do want to see him running about with his kids. So.
And you are going to?
And yeah, he's our kid. It's not going to not happen because he's our son.
So the fundraising kicked in.
My sister did it actually.
Yeah.
My sister did it while we were obviously still in hospital. My twin sister Jane was brilliant. You know, before we knew it, there was a page set up. She was trying to find charitable status, which that wasn't easy because he's an individual and the amount of money we want to raise. So that all the loopholes. So we can't have a charity number, but you can go GoFundMe, and we have all the legal logistics written out through the charity account at Barclays Bank. So we are covered legally. But just to get through that was a minefield. And my sister did that because obviously we weren't in a position to do that. We were getting Billy through his amputation.
And the money so far is quite, you know, it's quite an encouraging start.
Yes, it's not been a week yet, and it was 13, just over 13,000.
It's 13,000.
This is the fifth day. Started Monday.
Yeah. And that's just from small events and people just
That's
giving.
no
No events.
No events.
That's just donation.
That's just
The events start on Sunday. We haven't run an event.
So the 24/7 gym event on
That's
Sunday
right.
is the first.
Yeah.
Is the first
First
event.
event.
So this is all people who've just been.
A lot of people we don't know. Yeah, anonymous. There's register. I mean, people have been sharing on Facebook and asking their friends to share and their friends to share. We've been inundated with messages that people we don't know that have either suffered cancer, they've lost a child, or their stories touch their hearts. It's been overwhelming to, you know, it has restored our faith in mankind, to be fair.